So it is the same as then if you attend morning school, many of us have been here since day one. If you attend morning school, wake up at 4 a.m. GMT plus one, or you are attending from North America and you stay up late from 11 p.m. till midnight, and you are a participant of morning school, after 4 days of this program, and I meet you after and we're talking, and you cannot concretely begin to demonstrate how your daily routine, your daily life, the daily input in your career and business is changing concurrently as a result of the 4 days of morning school, you were entertaining yourself. You did not learn. Because proof of learning is that it must affect your present lifestyle to become better. You see, so for many of you that you have also been here in the last previous morning schools, maybe 3 years ago, 4 years ago, and whatsoever, if there is no concrete proof of how your participation causes a shift in your daily routine, in your daily activities, and in the quality of inputs, because when you change your input into your career, the outcomes of your career will change. When you change what you input in your business, the outcome of your business will change. And that's why we learn, right? So that's why I like to keep on asking after each day of being here on morning school, based on what we taught yesterday, if you started taking actions, can you type action? If you made some decisions, because good decisions should change something in your lifestyle, right decision, right? So let me rephrase now the question here. If you have been learning based on the explanation of learning I've given you, type learning in the chat box. If you have been coming here to entertain yourself, can you type entertainment in the chat box? Go ahead. Go ahead. Based on the explanation I've given. All right, I see learning. Don't be afraid. So if people who don't write learning or entertainment, I'm gonna put you in which category should I put people like that? You don't write learning, you don't write entertainment. We just say that you are lost but found. You are lost in destiny, and we found you here on morning school. Right? Awesome. All right. So somebody says, are they middle category, right? That one would even have a name for people like that. Never trust anybody who is in the middle category. Never trust anybody like that, right? Because people like that are very dangerous. They are not loyal to anything, so they can betray you for anything at any time. Okay? So, but anyways, I'm happy to see a lot of learning in the chat box and on YouTube. Now, today we are going to talk about something. Remember that the call for the morning school for the month of June, it has been focused, we have been focusing on monetizing your presence, because this, for those who are new, if you're here for the first time on Zoom or on YouTube, can you type new in the chat box or in the comment section? Let me see. If this is your first time ever, type new. Let me see. Or this is your first time participating in the June edition of the morning school. This is day 3. Type new. Okay. I'm seeing new. Okay. So this is like part 2 of what happened last month. Why? Because last month we focused on value creation or value identification, value extraction, value packaging. And the purpose of this month is to spend more time to begin to teach you some key things that if you begin to do, it will help you to start monetizing those things that you create and you package as value. And I took some time to begin to explain that The core of this is to also understand that if you identify your value or you extract that value, you package that value, and you don't understand the game of what I like to call mass distribution or mass commercialization, you may have very excellent value, but you don't make money the way you should be making, or even impact the way you should be making impact. Why? Because you are not able to mass distribute your value. You see, there are many people that their problem is not value. Their problem is that they don't know or they are not taking steps in mass distributing the value that they have created. And day one, day two, we have handled powerful insights and ideas that if anybody practices consistently, you will be able to begin to create significant impact and monetize your presence in a powerful way. Today, I want to teach on something that is very important and kind of common at the same time, but it is not that common because I still see majority of the people not doing it or not knowing how to do it the right way. So I will teach on this because it is also a critical factor in this dispensation that you have to know how to do it, right? So I want to, today we're going to focus on how to turn your social media profile into a business system, into, you can call it a storefront. And I will explain what I mean. You see, like I said earlier on, and I've come across people like this. I've come across people that they are broke and they are broke or they are struggling financially, not because they lack expertise or value. You see, I always say that there are two things that if you have in your life, you cannot struggle financially. You have expertise or value and you can communicate that value. If you can do these two things, these, these are two sub main categories, but under there are many major subcategories. But I'm just trying to cut it into two, right? It will be difficult for you to be stranded financially in life, right? So I have come across people that they are broke not because they lack expertise, not because they lack value, like many of you following this right now. But many people are struggling financially, especially in this dispensation and in this social media age, because a powerful platform that they have, like their various social media platforms from Facebook to Instagram to TikTok to how do you call it? LinkedIn and so on, because many are either hiding behind, you know, selfies or silent social media profiles where they don't even post anything at all, or they're hiding behind random, shares or scattered posts that does not make sense to anybody who come on their social media platform, or they're just hiding behind poorly, refined social media profiles. Why am I saying so? Because in this dispensation, your social media profile in any platform that you are on is a storefront. And what do I mean by storefront? You see, decades ago, years ago, when somebody wanted to start a business, it is still going on right now, but there is a big shift, and I'm going to explain. But decades ago, when somebody wanted to start a business, that person, if that business will succeed, that person must make sure that they find a good location. They always call it, they used to call it a storefront location. There are some locations that are good for storefronts, like in junctions where people come to gather for different reasons. So, decades ago, when people wanted to start a business, one critical factor in that startup process is to find a location that is good for their storefront. Because a good location with a good storefront will attract customers and, of course, make good sales. However, in this same dispensation now, I have come across many businesses that they are even located inside neighborhoods. Some are even located in houses, right? Very far. Like I went to one city in the United States one time I was in the US, and I was directed to go and eat in a Cameroonian restaurant. And that restaurant was in somebody's house, not in anywhere, not in a place that there are so many people, but inside the neighborhood. But it had a Facebook profile, right? So if you go on Google or you go on Facebook, I begin to search African restaurants near me or Cameroonian cuisine near me, that restaurant pops up. And you get the address, you drive there, or you get an Uber, and you get there and you eat good Cameroonian food in a typical neighborhood that is not in any place where there are people gathering or any storefront location. That's a good example of somebody who is able to turn their social media profile into a business. So, decades ago, you needed a location to display or to set up a storefront. In today's dispensation, your social media platform or social media profile, it has become your storefront. You get a difference. So you are either using it to attract business or repel your business. What I'm saying is, for many people right now, depending on whatever you're selling as a professional, or even if you're looking for a job, your social media profile is a storefront for recruiters, for employers. You see, what about those who want to travel international different countries, especially leaving Africa to Europe and North America, where many embassies now check your social media profile before giving you a visa? What will they find on that storefront? You get the perspective. So it is important to understand and ask yourself a question. If somebody gets on your social media platform or profile right now, on any platform you are in, can that profile of yours attract them to do business with you, or will it confuse them or repel them? Right? So if you think if you think that your current social media profile can attract business and and how do I put this, and convince or lead somebody to buy from you, type attraction in the chat box and comment section. If you think that if somebody gets on that platform, they will get more confused, type confused in the chat box. Right? If you think that if somebody gets there, they will just disappear, they will like, I don't know whether this is a human being or not. Hmm? Type disappear. Right? Because there are some people that the social media profile is just like they don't even know whether it's a human being managing this profile or not. Right? But yet, if you talk to these people, they'll be like, I am not getting clients. I am not getting opportunities. I am not getting this or that. You see, and I like the way LinkedIn puts this, right? The platform that started communicating the power of having a good uh, um, platform for people to In short, Trent he started communicating the power of, how do I put this? Social media, no, profile visit was LinkedIn, right? Let me show us what I'm talking about. Okay. It demonstrated a lot of power. Okay. Now, this is my LinkedIn. Now, LinkedIn started having this before many other social media platforms, right? It says, so it means that in the last, wait, this is it, this 90 days, I've forgotten. Let me see. Okay, 90 days. So it means that in the last 90 days, I have had 3,000 visits, right? Where's that thing again? 3,000 visits in the last 90 days. I have had 3,000 visits on my LinkedIn profile. Now, here's the question. If my profile is poor, do you know how much I am going to lose in business in 3 months if 3,000 people visit my storefront and don't see something that makes sense? You see the cost of this? Many people don't know how much they lose when they don't get this right. You see, this is 3,000 eyes coming across the profile, right? So, and this is what leads to opportunities. Somebody reads, okay, they like what they see, or based on what they're looking for, they send you an email, they send you an inbox, and you start talking business. Before you know it, you're making money from somebody just because they came across your profile and they were able to find something that makes sense and they will happily like to do business with you. Are you getting the while I want to teach on this topic as a social, the power of social media profiling, right? Because it's a machinery, is it's a system. Yes, your social media profile is a system, right? And if you don't understand how to do it the right way, it is going to cost you more as a career person and as a professional. Okay. And that's why I always pity people who are professionals and entrepreneurs who keep seeing social media as a platform for entertainment and hangout. You that is a good example of behaving like a babe or an immature person, right? It's a serious platform, a serious, you know, leverage tool for you to do more and achieve more and create more. Because in this generation, many aren't broke from lack of skill because there's a lot of knowledge in this generation. Many people are broke in this generation because of what I call lack of, or they are broke from unsearchable digital identities or poor unsearchable digital identities. That means you are profiling on different platforms makes you to be unsearchable. Thereby, you don't have any digital footprint or identity that makes sense. And that's why many people are struggling. Like one of my, I always say that anybody, if you, how can you have a doctorate degree, even a master's degree, and you're struggling to do some things in your industry or get a job or do certain things? No, the problem is either the education did not pass through you or it did not pass through education. Because let me tell you something, the world, there are so many people around the world, but there are very few experts and competent people. If you just become competent a bit and do some things right, there are some things you cannot struggle with, despite the challenges that you may go through. But there are just some things you cannot struggle with. You see, so that's why I always say that. Like I said earlier on, many people are suffering from what I fondly call unsearchable digital identities. Like you don't have a strong identity on social media platforms, which is a social media profile that it is searchable, that when somebody searches it, they can find a strong digital identity. And that happens by you just paying the price to construct your various social media profiles on different platforms the right way. You see, so like I always say, sometimes I have a funny hobby since I do a lot of teachings and research on, you know, identity, influence, attention. Sometimes when somebody sends me a request, I check out their profile, not because I want to see who they, I just want to see how their profile is structured. So I begin to get my data and see mistakes they're doing and begin to gather my training content, right? So when some people send me profiles, when I go through, I will see funny names. So, no clear name. When I go through their post or I go through their bio, I cannot see any niche or industry they're an expert in. I don't see any narrative that they are leading or they are championing. Somebody will start talking to somebody, they're like, oh, I'm a marriage counselor. But when you go on their social media profile, you're like, where is the narrative that you are leading on your profile as a marriage counselor? You cannot claim that you are an expert in an industry and I come on your storefront and I don't see you championing a narrative in what you say you're an expert in. You're losing something. There's something you don't get, you don't understand, right? So you check your profile, the name is not clear. Some even have very, how do I call it again? Nicknames. In short, just few weeks ago, I was I sent a voice note shouting at one of my mentees, and I asked her a simple question: do you want to be known as a local champion or as a global voice? That's what I asked her. Because on LinkedIn, Facebook, she had her nickname. She had Lady this, Lady, and then she added, her nickname, Lady this. I said, look, I have had the privilege to do work with international organizations and different international platforms. They don't deal with people who think in terms of nicknames and local championship. Okay? So it is important. I said, look, if you want to be, I told her, if you want to be a local champion and be celebrated just in Douala or be celebrated just in Limbe or in Boya or in Bamenda, okay, maintain your local nickname. And I asked her a question. I asked her a funny question. I said, how many people I told her that if I do you know that only your close friends, close family members, and church people call you that nickname? She said yes. I said, have you ever noticed anybody outside this circle calling you that nickname? She said no. I said, so you see, right? So you don't have a clear name, no niche. You are not championing any narrative through your profile as a leader, as a professional, as an entrepreneur. It doesn't make sense, right? You have a confused bio. And I always say that when your bio or profile is confused, you also confuse your next client. You confuse your next potential partner. You say, oh, I'm not having clients. I'm not having career opportunities. I'm not having business deals and things like that. If they check your storefront on digital platforms, it's confused. So when your bio is confused, you confuse everybody who comes on your platform. You see? Because visibility becomes powerless when you are vague. Yeah. If I stumble on your social media profile and there is no clarity, there is no, point blank communication of who you are and what you do, that visibility that brought me to your profile is going to die. Why? Because visibility dies when there is confusion and vagueness, and many people don't understand this. You see? So if your profile cannot communicate your value, hear me very well, because literally everybody here, you have a profile, including your WhatsApp status, no WhatsApp status. That thing that when you write, I am busy on WhatsApp or calls only. that area where you write your short bio on WhatsApp. It's part of your profile. You see? So if your profile on different social media platforms cannot communicate your value and your solutions in a few minutes, let's say 2 minutes of somebody coming across your profile, you are already losing money and opportunities. Because whether I like it or not, when you're sleeping, somebody is scanning through. Somebody is scanning through your profile. Because somebody can be searching for anything and by any chance stumble on your name. And they're like, oh, let me check who this person is. And then they come on your profile and they meet confusion, vagueness, and inadequate description of who you are. That's why I said if your profile cannot communicate your value and solutions in a few minutes, you are already losing money. You see? So you need to begin to treat your profile like a digital real estate because that is what it is. It's not a personal diary. Many people, like someone like I always see funny posts. I'm like, I just posted these pictures because I don't want to keep them on my phone. I'm like, are you serious? You call yourself an expert, a professional, and that's what you say, right? And it's okay. I'm not talking to average people, right? If you're average and you're like that, you're comfortable with living, a kind of life that you're living, it's fine. You can use social media platforms as your personal diary to photo dump, the pictures that you take. But if I'm talking to professionals, I'm talking to leaders, I'm talking to executives, I'm talking to people that have a mission in their generation. You have to treat your social media profiles like a digital real estate, not a personal diary. Somebody will come and post pictures and say photo dump and think that they're living life. No, that's a poverty mentality at work. That is that is a popularity driven mind, not an authority influence driven leader thinking. You would never see or people of authority doing things like that. Okay? So when you have a social media platform, not platform profile, one of your major aims should be how can you make sure that you are displaying what attracts demand? If you are writing text, you are displaying what attracts demand. If you are posting a picture, you are displaying what attracts demand. This one I always ask myself when I'm writing a social media content or posting a picture, I always check what kind of demand is this post and picture going to attract to me. You see, I don't post on social media like a consumer. Not many people post like a consumer. You post like consumers. To you want to consume on likes and comments. That's why some people when they don't get the likes and comments after posting, they feel as if they're not doing well. Because you are posting like a consumer, you are not posting like an authority and somebody who knows what he or she is doing. You see, and you cannot claim dominion in this generation with a passive profile or with a profile that is inactive on social media platforms. It's not going to help you. It's not going to help you. Okay. So I had to lay that foundation. Then I have about ten things that if you do from analyzing I think hundreds and hundreds of social media profiles, those who are doing so well, those who are doing nothing with it, right? And I've come up with 10 things that if anybody learns these ten things and practice them, oh my goodness, you will turn your social media profile into a machine, an authority driven machine. Okay? Because this is from analyzing, going through, I've come across incredible, well designed social media profiles with good results. Sometimes I won't send a DM and ask them questions. I'm like, my goodness, I love the way you have designed or structured your social media profile. Tell me, how many clients do you get a month? How many inquiries do you get? And it's always so mind blowing at the kind of results that I hear people having just from having good social media profiles. Okay. So, 10 things that if you practice, they're going to help you. If you're ready, type 10 in the chat box. Type 10. I always, this is morning for many people, so I need action so that nobody's sleeping. Some people come and they sleep off. If we, there was a time we did morning school that if you're not on video, we put you off the class. And I'm gonna bring that. I'm gonna do that tomorrow. Some people come and they sleep off. After when I don't share the link, they're like, please, can you share the link? I'm like, but I saw you in class. I saw your name in class. Why are you asking for a link? I'm like, I slept off. You slept off, eh? I will spend my energy, leave my beautiful wife to come and teach you and you sleep off. If I slap you. All right. Just joking. Okay. Somebody says I was in a sleeping mode. You need fasting and prayers. All right. So, why are you guys laughing now? All right. So, 10 things. Please, please. Okay. But tomorrow, eh? Tomorrow, we're going to, if you wake up prepared to be on video because people sleep. People sleep. Those who don't want to be on, uh, 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 um, how do I say? Those who don't want to be on video, just go and stream on YouTube and sleep off on YouTube. And the point is, I will not share the link after that. All right. So you're not on video, we'll send you out of the class. You go and join on YouTube, on the video on Zoom. Okay. All right. Let's proceed. Let's proceed. Okay. Now, 10 things. I want to encourage you, please, these 10 things are practical. Okay. And as I begin to talk about them, they are not theory. And I want to encourage you as you listen to them, this should be one of your major action steps after this class. Go and spend some time and do correction as much as you can. And you can reference my social media profiles on different platforms and see what I've done there. And the funny thing is, like I always say, there's nothing like perfection. Okay, you keep on improving the more you learn, the more you improve. Okay, and that's one thing I always do with my social media profiles. I always update them, improve it when I learn something or when something happens. I'm like, oh, a client came to me because of this. Let me tweak the social media profile this way. Maybe I'll get more clients. I keep on refining it because business is not stagnant. Career is not stagnant. If your career is the same every 3 months, every your business is the same every 3 months, there's something you're not doing right. And you're comfortable with the result that you have and where you are. Okay? All right. Number one, the first thing that you need to address to turn your social media profile into a business system or machinery. Fix your first impression. Okay? Fix your first impression. Give me a moment. It's getting so hot. I have to put this AC. All right. Fix your first impression. Okay. That's the basics. Many people have this right already, right? Like your profile picture, your banner, your intro. These are positioning assets, not decoration. And I'm adding the word decoration intentionally because many people they treat their like when they're putting a picture on how do I say this? When they are putting a picture on their social media platforms, they are putting it based on the picture they like. Many people do that, right? Especially ladies. Oh, ladies are good at this. Ladies are so good at this. When they're posting a picture, they want to post a selfie that looks interesting. Like they like the style. They like how they put it. They like the color of the dress they wore there. They like things like that, right? That's what they consider before posting or deciding a cover photo or a corporate photo, the makeup, thank you, Bryce. That's what they consider first. No, you are not posting for decoration. No, you are not posting for decoration. You are not posting for your boyfriend or your husband, right? You are posting for the market, right? So I would try, I want to do this a lot, but I would like to. So I'm talking about you being able to fix your first impression because when somebody visits your profile, the first impression in the first, let's say, you know, 10 seconds or 20 seconds, what they see as your cover page, because these will, I like to call them your positioning asset. The kind of profile picture and the kind of cover page that you have, these are your positioning assets. Okay. And then before they start reading what you have put as far as, who you are is concerned and what you do. And I always like to maintain the same kind of, structure or, or process on different platforms so that because when you have a lot of following also, people, how do you call these guys? The bad guys, scammers, right? Scammers, they easily begin to photocopy or clone accounts and create accounts in your name and begin to scam people. It has happened to me a few times. So I prefer to have the same kind of, you know, name, the same kind of cover picture, the same kind of profile picture on different platform. Okay, so that those who are smart, they if somebody reached out to you from one account, you cannot just send money to a stranger on one account. You can decide, so you know what, let me check this name on different accounts. And when you check and you are somebody that you think deeper, you said, no, I think the accounts with the same cover, the same picture, and the same kind of content, this is the right guy. So the other account is fake. That's how to detect scammers on social media. But again, what am I trying to say? Your profile picture, your cover or your banner, and your intro, they are your positioning asset. If we go to many of your profile pictures now, many of your cover pictures now, we are going to see that you posted or you shared those things from the place of decorating or making a point, trying to show how you are chopping live somewhere. You did not post for the marketplace. The cover picture and the profile picture that you have is not communicating authority and expertise and professionalism. And that's why there are some people that they cannot trust you because your positioning assets don't make sense to them. Okay? So some kind of questions that I think about when I am looking at somebody's profile picture, cover, and things like that is, would a potential client immediately know what I do when they see my profile and my cover? Ask yourself that question. If a potential client comes on your profile right now, will they immediately know what you do? Or will they be confused and lost? Number two, does your bio, does your cover show mastery, or is it a mystery for people to know what you do? There are some people that if you come across their profiles on social media, it does not show any mastery. It's a mystery. People try to find out what is she really into? What is she into? What is he into? So let me ask you a question. Is your current profile demonstrating your mastery in an industry, or is it a mystery? Right? Because you are either a master or a mystery, right? So you begin to look at that. Because in this dispensation, positioning will always go ahead before payment. In other words, when you position yourself so well, you will attract payment as a professional. Okay. The next question that people like to ask, or I like to ask is, if I visit your profile, I may like to look at, does this look like someone I can trust with my money? Very important question. If somebody visits your profile now, can they trust you with their money? No, let's be serious. I asked a client I was talking one time, I said, how much is the highest amount somebody can pay you for your service in one day? She didn't even know. I said, okay, let's assume that your premium service, you can charge 500,000 francs. Let me even ask that here. What is the highest amount somebody can pay you in one day? How to know that? Like I know how much I charge per hour for consulting, right? So I can take that, let's say 200,000 francs times 12 hours. Let's assume that I work for 12 hours, right? So I was asking her, how much, I asked her, what is the highest amount you can make in a day? What is your premium amount? She didn't even know. But I was asking that question to drive her to the second question, which was, if your premium amount in a day is, let's say, 1 million, can somebody look at your profile and give you 1 million? I am giving that question back to all of us in this call right now. Can somebody look at your current profile and give you your highest amount that you can charge in a day? Type yes or no in the chat box. Be blunt. This is a family meeting, right? Be blunt. Yes or no. Let's be serious. Yes or no. That's a challenge to you. It's not for anybody to judge anybody. It's a challenge to you. There's something you need to go and shift. Let somebody look at you, look at your profile, because there is an impression, there is a dimension of communication that it sends when that profile communicates and makes some sense to people that also matter. Okay? So that's why I was asking this lady that particular question. Okay? If somebody come across your profile and they're asking this question, does this look like someone I can trust with my money? You see, like I went, do you think, you see, I always spend a good amount of money to go to a studio and take good pictures for myself, like sometimes every year or every 2 years, right? Because it's not because I have money to throw around. No. And if you're a serious professional here, do that. And don't go to local studios. No, go to a guy you can pay well and let him take you pictures that are good international standard. Okay? Because it will always repay you over and over and over. It is important because it's part of the business in this dispensation, in this generation. It doesn't matter your age group. As long as I was talking to one mama one time, I said, Mama, look, as long as you are alive, forget that thing that is not my generation. Because you have to play the game of this time that you are alive. Forget that thing that you are old. No, you are not old, Mama. You are alive. That's what I know. So play the game of this generation. Okay? Don't assume that because of your age you cannot learn. No, Mama, you can learn. Right? If they give you a computer, give you a good teacher, you spend some time with consistency, you're going to learn. Now, not to talk of anybody, in short, I was talking to someone and I said, anybody who is 50 years and below, you have no excuse about technology. Zero excuse. Not excluding, I know people that started learning technology, not advanced tech, this kind of foundational things around technology that are important for your rising and for your success. I know people at 70s who started learning and got it right. I never started doing YouTube videos for people to watch, right? So, but you need to be conscious of that particular point, all right? So, and don't forget this. One thing that I started talking about when I'm talking about positioning because when I'm providing consulting around somebody's image on social media, my focus is on positioning, right? And I was telling somebody that I want to, that is one of my clients that she recently went and took photos in a studio and all of that. So I spoke to the photographer and I said, the kind of postures, the kind of body gestures, the kind of dress she's going to wear, I want dresses that when we take the pictures and we post them on her website and on her social media platforms, let the person show up like a solution. You see, there's a way your pictures, when you post them, they you show up on those pictures like a solution. That's why I don't like to post selfies. I rarely post selfies because except you are really good at how you took the posture, but most selfies, they they don't communicate to you like a solution. Most, for example, this may be sensitive, but I'm still gonna say it anyway. Most ladies post on selfies in, how do I put this? In terms of, slay queens. It doesn't matter how serious you are. A selfie will turn you into a slay queen, right? So, and if your profile is mostly with selfies, it doesn't portray you as a solution in your industry. It portrays you as somebody who is out for fun, for entertainment, and hangout. You see, that's what I was telling one of my clients. I said, look, go back, and I'm going to talk about, I asked her, go and delete some of your posts, some of your pictures on your profile. Because when I went through her profile, she had so many selfies. And selfies with the, ladies like to bend their head, bend something, bend, bending selfies everywhere. I said, look, your profile doesn't show you as the corporate person that you are. It doesn't. You cannot have a whole master's degree and have certifications and do this kind of work. And I come on your profile and I see you bending necks and bending legs and bending hand and doing two finger things like that. I said, come on, must you bend something, right? And I asked her, go and delete. You have to delete many of your, these posts. You are not here. You are not a model. You are not competing for a slave queen position. You need to be serious. Okay? Right? Because she had to clean up. I said, look, if you want to be taken serious, you just have to clean up, my friend. Right? So use your cover, use your profile as a silent pitch. Because people click your profile pictures. Yes, people click your cover pictures or your cover designs. What they see should either push them to work with you or not work with you. Okay? All social media platforms, right? So, and sometimes you can design your, especially your cover. I did that one time, but you can design your cover by, communicating a framework, a result, or a flagship offer, or kind of a strong call to action, right? I was talking to somebody, I said, look, you are talking about you need a website. But when I checked her social media platform, I said, look, your social media platforms are terrible. And you're talking about a website. The ones that you have that are free, that can get you clients, you have not done it right. You are thinking of website. My friend, you are not serious. Mm? The one that you need to pay, you want to get it. The one that is free, you have not done the right job. Do you think this makes sense? So I told her, look, if you cannot get clients on social media, okay? If you cannot get clients on social media, how do you expect to start getting clients on websites? You see that? So please work on your placement, fix your first impressions. Work on it and fix it. Number two, a bit linked to number one is Write your bio like a business headline. Write your bio like a business headline. Very important. Okay? Your bio should be able to communicate ideas and perspective about yourself that make sense or communicate you as a value creator or as a solution. Let somebody read your bio and be able to know exactly who you help, what problem you solve, and what result you can deliver. Let me say it again. Your bios on different platforms. Let somebody read it and clearly see this is who you help. This is the problem you solve. This is the result that you deliver. Don't go and write cute quotes. Write, nickname in secondary school. Write, like you see funny things that people write on their various bio sections. And you're like, people use bio sections to sell and to attract the right people. You are using yours to talk about your nickname in secondary school. Are you serious with your life? So this is what I'm talking about, like your bio section, right? This is it. Like I said, a good bio section should be able to, give me a moment, what's going on? Okay. A good bio section should be able, in a clear way, communicate who you help. Like you can see, mine says, I help experts and institutions. Very clear. It should be able to communicate who you help, right? What problem you solve, what result you deliver, right? Because when somebody reads this in a few seconds, they can clearly know what you can bring to the table as far as value is concerned. Okay? So don't go and write cute quotes, your Facebook, not fa- your secondary school nicknames, and funny, funny things, right? And if you go on all my social media platforms, you will likely see the same, you know, headline or intro headline, right? It is basically the same, right? Go on Instagram, the same. Why? Because that's what I'm supposed to be doing. Okay? Don't go and write, you see strange names. Like I always see strange things. Strange things. I'm forgetting some of those names, but sometimes I'll see them and I will laugh on them like, look at how these people are wasting digital real estate, right? You're wasting your digital real estate. How many of you need to go and update your bio? Okay. Make sure, remember, you talk about who you help, what problem you solve, and what result you deliver. It makes it easy for people to work with you. All right. Number three, the third thing that you need to do in order to turn your social media profile into a business system. For many people, this may not apply, but for many people, this may apply. Clean up your feed. Clean up your feed. Many people, their feed, that means this is your feed here, right? Let me go back on and share my screen. Many people, their feed is terrible. Their feed is terrible. Very, very terrible. Okay? Let me let me share here. Okay. I hope you can see. All right. Are we good? Can you see my screen? All right. I hope you can. I believe you can see. Now, this is this is your feed. On LinkedIn, they call it activity. But if you come and click show all posts, it now brings you on your feed, right? This is your feed. Your feed are the things that you are posting and so on. This is your feed in general. Okay. So many people need to clean up their feed. Okay. Many people need to clean up their feed because for Facebook, it's the same thing and all of that. If your feed is somebody comes on your feed, they see funny things that you share, they see things that don't make sense as far as what you share is concerned, it doesn't help anybody in any way. Okay? So it is important to ensure that you understand that your feed is critical. Okay? So if your feed is not good, like I said, I was providing consultation to a lady and I had to challenge her. Look, when I went to her feed, she had every post that she ever made was a selfie. Every post. And she was bending neck, she was bending something, she was having two fingers, she was every picture that she shared did not communicate her as the expert that she actually is. You see, so many of you need to clean your feed ruthlessly. Because let me tell you something. Maybe you don't know, or you know and you don't take it serious, but let me emphasize it again. Okay? Every post of yours is a signal. It's a signal. If you are making posts on social media and you want your social media profiles to convert into a business system, ask yourself, this post I am making or this post I have been making, are they building trust for me? Am I showing results as an expert? Through my post, am I creating demand for my expertise? Because you see people sharing posts that don't do these three things, but yet they complain they don't have clients, they don't have job offers. I'm like, Bert, what you're posting cannot attract those things. Come on, something is missing. If what you're posting, or if I go on your feed right now and I check your last 20 posts, hmm, if I check your last 20 posts, can those posts do these three things? Build trust about you in my mind. Number two, can those posts show results that you create as an expert? Number three, can those posts create demand in my heart, in my mind about your expertise? On a scale of 1 to 10, answer these questions. Let's be real. On a scale of 1 to 10, answer these questions. Answer these questions, right? You'll be surprised. Some people have even nothing that they're posting at all. Some people have zero, basically zero, right? So they, you need to be conscious of this. Like, see what somebody is saying. Like, I have nothing in my LinkedIn except for job search and openings to jobs. Now, and linked on LinkedIn, there is no recruiter who will ever give you a job through LinkedIn without validating through your post and the structure of your profile that you're an expert. If you're here and you are searching for jobs on LinkedIn and you don't champion a narrative on your LinkedIn profile to create content around that area of expertise that you're looking for a job in, you will hardly get a job offer on LinkedIn. You see, you can apply many jobs, but nobody will trust you and give you a job offer because you you claim you're a professional, but you don't talk anything around your industry. So why should we trust you and give you a job? Because that is your first CV before your actual CV. You get a point? So every post that you're making, you should answer your question. Are you building trust through your post? Are you showing results that you can create as a professional? Right? Are you creating demand for yourself? Right? Are you solving problems for the people that you potentially are going to serve? So many of you need to go back on your different social media platforms and delete irrelevant drama, right? Irrelevant selfies, irrelevant pictures with friends hanging out in funny places that don't make sense to your destiny. You need to go and delete those irrelevant drama because through your profile, you are not just supposed to post people. No, you're supposed to use your profile to curate your positioning as an expert. Let somebody come on your platform, on your profile, and see a well-positioned expert. Okay? Number four, number four, the fourth thing that you can do to turn your social media profile into a business system. Is this hitting somebody hard? Is this exposing you? If this is exposing you, right, I am exposed. If this is exposing you, right, I am exposed. All right, I'm happy. I may be smiling sometimes. Sometimes I have to fake my smile because I can sense myself trying to shout at people. I forget. Trust me. I always say that. When I'm getting a coaching client, I say, look, they are not just paying me for coaching it. They also pay me for me to shout at your head. Okay? So be ready when I get angry and shout at you for not making sense with what I'm telling you. All right. So it is very, very important. And of course, you see, I like this testimony. This is so true. When I was actively applying for my current role, I was showing up daily on LinkedIn with my industry related content. Employers reach out to me, and that's the power of LinkedIn, where employers are the one that reach out to you. And like I always tell people, it may sound funny, but it's true. I always say that one of the fastest platforms that can get you out of Africa to Europe and North America is LinkedIn, if you know how to use it very well. Because it's one platform that employers, when you do it, when you do the right things, employers will reach out to you to work with you. Right? Look at this testimony. Look at that testimony. Right? Employers reach out to me, and even now, they are still reaching out to me regarding a job, even though she now has a job, right? So you need to improve your profile as you learn and begin to grow. That is so good. That is so good. Okay. All right. Number four, the fourth thing that you can do to convert your social media platform, your profile into a business system that can generate opportunities and money making opportunities for you. Through your post, talk like a leader, not a beggar. I'm going to explain. Talk like a leader, either you're posting a write up, a video, even a picture, right? Talk like a leader, not a beggar. Okay? Because the way some people sound in their posts and the kind of things that they post, it doesn't show anybody who reads that this guy or this lady is a professional, is an expert on anything, is a leader. You post things that positions you as an average person or somebody who is begging for opportunities or somebody who is confused. Some even post and beg for support and likes. Please, can you like my picture? Can you do this? No, that's not for you. Other people can do that, but it's not for you. If you're a member of this community, you play a different game. You play the game of authority. You play the game of industry leadership. So, how do you talk like a leader through your profile? You share insights about your industry, like what Kendria just shared about what she did to get a job on LinkedIn. If you are not sharing insights about your industry, you are definitely showing up like a beggar or like somebody who is begging for like and comments. But when you consistently post professional insights, professional lessons, results, when you begin to teach what you have done, not just what you have read, you begin to attract people. Why? Because employers, partners, and different people, they pay for clarity. They don't pay for confusion. You see? So many of you, you need to, from today, every post that you want to post on any of your profile, ask yourself, does this post position me as a leader in my industry? Always ask yourself that question. If it, excuse me, if it doesn't, don't post it. Write a different post. Okay? Because the more you post like a leader, the more you sound like a leader through written content or video content or even audio content and so on, the more you attract the right opportunities to yourself. Because employers and partners, they look for people who demonstrate the potential of innovation, value creation, leadership, contribution, insight, and things in that light. You see, so you're like, you begin to wonder, why are other people sharing screenshots and testimonies of how social media is blessing them? Why am I not able to share the same kind of feedback? Go and check if you are doing what they are doing. You are here now. Have you been doing what I'm teaching you right now? You now see why you cannot get the best results out of this platform. Okay. Number five, use what I call the 80-20 monetization rule. I will explain, but just write it down. Use the 80-20 monetization rule. Okay. Now, if if on social media, every post that you make is about selling something, you are not going to gain, you're not going to make sales that way. Okay? Because people generally don't like salesy people. People who are only, you only post sales, 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 sales. No, people don't like people like that. So the 80-20 monetization rule will help you sell more, even though you're not talking a lot about sales. That means 80% of your post on your profile on various social media platforms, they should be about value, insights, lessons that you can share as an expert. Let's say, for example, if in a day you post 3 times a day, hmm, you can decide that the 2 times you're going to post only about value, insight, lessons, and what can impact people. One time you can make a post about what you're selling. That's you practicing 80-20 monetization rule. Or you can see sell on all the posts. That's what I do, where I'll share a lot of value in one post, but then I'll add 1 or 2 lines to indirectly direct people to my platform where they can buy something from me or hire me to coach, to consult, to train, or to speak in their event. So the whole post will have a lot of value, but just 1 or 2 statements that will communicate that I'm selling something. And it has been proven that the more you consistently deliver value to people, when you make a post to sell something, they will effortlessly buy from you because due to your consistency in sharing insights and lessons and value, that barrier of doubting who you are is lifted because you have consistently shared content. You have consistently shared insights that they now trust you. Like I always fondly say that there are some industries that many of you operate in that they need to know you first They need to like you, then they trust you before they pay you. And that's the power of consistently showing up with value, with insights, and with lessons. Why? Because the more you share value, insights, lessons, strategies, tactics, and industry information like that, they begin to know you. And when you're consistent, they'll start liking you. And when they like you consistently, they'll trust you. When they trust you, when you post something to sell, they will buy. You see, that's how it works. And you can only attract people to your DM or into your inbox if you create the kind of content that positions you as a leader or an expert in that particular sector. So I always talk about this simple formula: educate, build trust, then invite them to buy. Educate, build trust, then invite them to buy. For example, let's say that I want to use somebody who runs a brick and mortar business. Let me take Siri. Siri runs he is into furniture. He's a furniture expert, standard premium guy, modern day furniture expert, right? He can do furniture for your corporate office, for your housing, and things like that. Now, however, many of us here don't know Siri yet, right? So he can start by creating content. Like I said, what they need to do, educate, build trust, and then invite them to buy. So he can start by educating his followers and creating posts around. He can start a post and say, you know what? I'm going to educate people about the top 10 types of timber that are good for making house furniture and office furniture. An average person doesn't know what that means, and he create content around that and begin to educate people. His next set of content, he can create content around the average lifespan of the different types of furniture if they are made with this kind of material. He create content around that. You see what he's doing? He's educating his followers. He's educating the people. And as he's educating, he's building trust. You see, educate consistently. In the process, you build trust. When you build that trust, you cannot invite them to buy. So there are many of you here that you have been posting things to buy for people to buy. You have skipped the two steps. They don't know you, they don't like you, they don't trust you, so they cannot pay you. You see, and the knowing and the like definitely falls under, consistent education around the sector and the work that you do. Okay. So you need to practice this if your social media profile is definitely going to be that machinery that can convert people to buy from you and help you sell. Number six, create a lead magnet. Create a lead magnet. Now, the power of lead magnet is to help you to keep people within your inner circle. Let me put it that way. For example, how many of you here have ever downloaded a free PDF from me or a free video course from me? Anybody? And then after that, you start receiving emails from me. If you have done that, type me in the chat box. That's an example of a lead magnet. I give you something for free for the purpose of having your email contact and your number. That's the purpose. The same as WhatsApp groups. I do free programs to get people to join the WhatsApp to attend a free program so I can have them in my community so that when I want to sell something, they will easily buy because they're already within my community. So it's faster for me to sell to them than to sell to strangers. That's the power of lead magnet. Okay. So if you are going to convert your social media profile into a business system, you need to learn how to create a lead magnet. where you can promote consistently every week. If you don't have the money to buy a platform like the one I use, where it can people can download automatically, the platform sends the product while I'm even sleeping and things like that, and do many other things. You can use WhatsApp groups, right? Where you create a lead magnet and you can create a free checklist, a free guide to solve a particular pain point, targeting a particular type of people, and then you post it on Facebook. And you can put a link in the comment section, and you tell people if you are interested, please make sure that you are able to ensure that you join the WhatsApp group in order to download or to receive this free PDF, right? Let me say there are some of you here that there are marriage counselors here, there are nutrition experts here, and different people. There are nurses here, maybe private nurses and things like that. And you have products that you want to start selling, but you need people in your community so you can sell to them faster. You can start by creating, go to your laptop, right? Don't say I don't have a laptop. You cannot, I always say find something funny. I'll say it again. How can you be 18 years old and above in 2025 and you don't have a laptop? We need to fast and pray for you. Something is wrong with you. Having just a phone in this generation doesn't you have to upgrade. Oh, there are things, let me tell you something. There are things in this age that you cannot do only with your phone. Your phone limits you, like you can do just 5%, not up to 5% even. What your phone is good at is excellent communication. If you want to be a creator, have a good laptop. Okay? Don't give any excuse. Pay the price. Laptop is not a nice to have. It's not a luxury. It's a human right based on where we are in this generation. Okay? And knowing how to use it should be for you like you know how to eat. You cannot be in this generation in 2025 and you can give an excuse that you don't know how to do certain things with a computer. You should know how to eat. If you know how to eat, you should know how to use a laptop well. And different apps or different platforms or softwares to do the work that you do better and bigger. Okay? So you go on your laptop and you can create like the kind of free checklist, the kind of free PDFs that many of you have downloaded from me. Okay? You create that and you cannot put it somewhere. It could be on a platform, on a Google Drive, on any place that somebody can download, or you create a WhatsApp group. When people join, you now post that PDF there, and people can download and begin to learn from that particular checklist. But if you are going to turn your social media profile into a business system, you must learn how to create lead magnets as a professional, as an expert, consistently posted for people to keep on downloading, or for people to join your community and receive it so that you have them in your community for the sake of always, promoting or selling what you have to sell, right? Because it is easy to start sales conversations with people who have consumed something from you. Very easy. That's the power of lead magnets also. Or even free trainings like this, right? There are many people I know that, many people that when I launch a paid program, they pay before asking when is the date and how is it going to happen. They just pay first before asking any further questions. Why? Because I have overgiven value that they don't doubt what they're going to learn from me. You see, because free trainings can also be part of that particular lead magnet. Okay, so invest on that. It is going to help you. I spoke about it yesterday and I'll talk about this again. Point seven, have a pinned post and create that pinned post to be an entry point. Have a pinned post. LinkedIn have featured section. So, Facebook have a pinned post. Okay. have a post that you can pin or you can feature on your different platforms and craft it in a way that it is an entry point for somebody to desire to consume more value from you. Okay? Because your pin post is like a real estate. It's also like part of your front office. Okay? So, in that pin post, if you are able to introduce either a flagship offer or a methodology, or you tell a story that proves that you are credible and you can solve problems, or you can include what we call, CTAs or call to action that can start a relationship. All right. So a good pin post should either communicate a strategy of yours, a flagship offer, who you help, and a kind of result that they have created. You can create the pin post or featured post around different areas. Okay, so a good pin post will say something like, it is you trying to say, hey, here I am. Here's how I can help you. Here's how we can start. If you contact me on this number or on this email or by this link, I can help you do this and do that. Okay? So create a pin post, write it so well, and put it in a place where when people come to you, okay? When people come to you, they come across that particular pin post, they will happily ensure that they'll happily understand and consume what you're selling. Okay. I'm trying to get to show you for those who are novices here. Now, LinkedIn has, now LinkedIn is much better because they have this. You see, services, they have a place for services and then they have featured, right? And that's why I love LinkedIn. They have a place for services where you can highlight some key things that you do, like what I've done here, which is so good, right? So then, but Facebook has, pin post, LinkedIn has featured section. So under featured section, you are able to like see what I've put on my featured sections, right? I've pinned something like, free download days, free download days, right? For me, I have decided to post to put my lead magnet so that when you download, I can be able to get your emails and get your contacts so I can work with you more consistently. You see, another thing on my pin post is my published books, right? Another one is an award that I won, things like that. Because the goal is that when somebody come across your featured post or pin post, they should be convinced that you are the guy. You are the expert they're looking for, right? So you carefully identify things to put there, right? If you continue to see them under the many things are featured, you see awards and things like that and so on. If you come on Facebook, under what I like to do on my Facebook pin post section is that I like to change it like sometimes once every 2 weeks or once a month based on, and I like to pin different posts that I make. And I like to pin mostly strategy posts because I like that when somebody come across my profile, they can see a strategy post that I'm talking about something or the work that I actually do. Like under this post, I said how to build authority in your industry, even with a small audience on social media and offline, something like that, right? And then with a good picture in a corporate setting and things like that. And in that post, it directs people on the things they're going to learn, and of course, downloading, different things in the comment section and so on. And after a while, I always update this pin post. You can come here and you unpin the post and then you post, you can pin a new post based on what you're focusing on that week. Now, what I've also seen that some other people do on that pin post is that when they have an event or a product they are selling that season, they make a post about a product and they come and pin it here, which is very good. Like, for example, if the main event I'm hosting next week is the Gentleman Summit, right? So I can decide and unpin that post because the main thing I'm trying to push out there within this season is this event. So if I want that when somebody stumbles on my profile and the first thing that you see is that you see what I am currently working on, what I'm currently trying to sell or get people's attention on. You get the concept. So the pin section of your post is, of course, very, very important. Treat it very well because when people stumble on your profile or they're searching for something and your name comes under that keyword or that search, when they click your profile, apart from seeing just your cover and your profile picture and your bio, when they scroll a bit, the first thing they're going to see is your pin post. Okay, not some junk, not some jargons, and so on. So work on it. Yeah, and a pin post is not something that you just write anyhow. No, spend some time. Okay, spend some time and craft it very well and put it there because it is part of your storefront. It is part of your storefront, and if you write it the right way, position it very well, it can always help you sell a lot even while you're sleeping. Okay, so work on that. Number 8 is I always encourage people to do this with their social media platforms a lot because I have seen the impact of this, right? Create what I call content series to create momentum. I will explain, but just write it down. Number 8, create content series to create momentum. Now, I always advise experts that one thing that can lead people to follow you on your profile and end up trusting you is content series, right? Where you don't just post randomly on your profile, but once in a while, like maybe in once a month, you can take a series for 4 days, 5 days, and let people follow you in that 4 days. And you handle one key thing under a main series as an expert. It is very powerful. I've discovered that. Very powerful. Okay, that's why I call it create content series to create momentum. Okay, for example, let's say that somebody is here and you are a personal development coach. You can decide and do a 7 day series and give a name like 7 day growth hack series, right? 7 day growth hack series. And for 7 days, every new day, you can share episode 1 of a growth hack that if somebody practices, they will begin to grow in their personal development journey, right? Or let's say that you are a marketing expert or a sales expert. You can create a series like 5 client mistakes that kills sales, right? Or 5 marketing mistakes that hinders clients from discovering your product. Then you post it for 5 days. Or let's say you're a marriage counselor. You can say 5 days and 5 ways to bring life to your marriage. You see, when you do that, you will create anticipation and focus on you. And people every day, they will have that desire to wake up every day and be able to feed on what you are sharing. Okay? To feed on what you are sharing. It is going to help you. All right? Because the power of series is that there was a time I did a 30-day series. It was mind blowing. Why? Because series build retention, it builds trust, and trust always leads to money. There was a time I did a 30-day series, and on the 31st day, I launched an event, and people bought like crazy, right? It's a strategy. So you turn your profile like into a short mini school, into a short educational school. You see, like 15 days or 15 days and 15 ways to do this and that. You post consistently for that 15 days. On the 16th day, you launch a flyer with a price tag, and you'll be surprised how people are going to buy from you because within that 15 days, you have developed that trust. They now know you. You still maintain their attention, and you can convert it into some money. It's going to help you a lot. Okay. So that's number eight. Number nine, number nine, how to turn your profile into a business system. Social media profile into a business system. Is this, are you getting some very, very practical things to do? Very, very practical. Can this also work with live shows? What do you mean live shows? Can you explain better? What do you mean live shows? But why she's adding that, are you guys picking some things, some powerful things to practice in your businesses and in your careers? Good. Happy to see that. In short, some of you who are working in companies, after this, you can become a consultant in your I always say that the way I always structure my training. If somebody follows so well and and you like to do things, you can go and become a consultant in your company. Right? You talk sense. You talk sense and like, you sound like a pro in this matter. They say you have no idea. You don't know who I listen to. All right. Awesome. All right, let's round up with 2 points and then we're good to go. Point eight. Is it point? No, point nine. One way that you can convert your social media profile into a machinery is through the comment section. And I've seen this work so powerful on LinkedIn and even Facebook. For example, there are some people that have followed me from comment section and even bought my services because of a kind of or the quality of comments that I leave under a comment section. There was even a time, I don't know those who have been in morning school for more than 3, 4 years, if you can remember. There was a time where I forbid, I made a law and I said, if I make a post, when you come on that post on the WhatsApp group, don't react, don't say receive, don't write one word. Intentionally, intentionally write a comment that is more than 10 words. Who remember that? Because I was trying to train people to think when you read an article, think through and agree intelligently. Don't just say nice, nice, nice article. Don't just say great. Don't just say awesome. Don't just say amazing. No, that's for babes. If your comments on social media are things like that, you will never attract strangers to your profile. Because one of the best ways to attract strangers from somebody else's profile to your profile is for you, if you read an article, let's say under my post, you read an article, don't come and say great article. No, you will never attract a stranger to your profile from my profile. The best way to attract strangers from different places is to make sure that if you read an intelligent article under an expert post or under even a company organization and things like that, write something intelligent that positions you as an expert. Somebody can read it, like it, come and follow you because you sound like somebody they want to follow. And they can eventually buy from you because of the value that you consistently create on your profile. You see? So that's why I'm talking about turn your comment into conversion zones. Okay? So avoid writing nice, great, amazing. No, that's for babes. That's for immature people. Every comment that you leave, especially under post of people that are experts in your industry, don't avoid doing that. Avoid writing nice, great, I agree. No, it's for babes. Intentionally challenge yourself that if I'm leaving a comment under this post, it must be a contribution that it will be at least 10 words and above. Okay? Turn every comment that you write into what I call a digital handshake. Let somebody read your comment and shake their head and say, if you are beside me, I'll give you a handshake because of what you wrote. And when people do like that, they will definitely like to check your profile out or even follow you and become friends with you. So when you are commenting, add value. Don't write basic things. When you are commenting, share a quick insight, agreeing or even disagreeing in a professional way with the post. Okay? And sometimes what I would do is that I will write and say, thank you for reading Javne Jorbert, and I will link my post. I mean my page. I mean that is saying if you want more of this kind of content, follow this page. You see, why? Because people stalk who sound smart, or people who are intelligent, or people who contribute to intelligent conversations. Okay? So when you're commenting, make them curious enough to follow you. Make them hungry enough to be part of what they're doing, and then you can convert them. Okay? And then number 10, and we are done, is create what I call it a positioning series. Create a positioning series in your content calendar. For example, what I do is that every once a week, every week, once a week, I always like to drop a deep post. If for those who follow me, you must have noticed this. Every once a week, if you notice, I always drop a very deep strategic post. Very deep. Anybody notice that? I learned that from somebody. Okay? That's what I call a a positioning post or a positioning series. Where and that particular post, if you are somebody who can words, I always make sure that that post is at least 300 to 500 words, long enough. Because I write other short posts throughout the week, but once a week, I will always drop a deep post. And the purpose of that post is not for everybody. It's for people that make sense in my industry. And when they read that kind of, that's why I call it positioning post. The aim of that post is to make sure that the people who read for me, they keep respecting me like as the expert I am. It's a game. Okay, so every 7 days, that's the goal I use. I have a friend that he uses every 10 days. Every 10 days, he will post one deep strategic post, sometimes even 1,000 words. If you are not comfortable reading long posts, it's not for you. We're not writing for you. We are writing for industry people that they are comfortable at reading expert thoughts and then trusting our expertise and eventually working with us. Okay? And if you're a professional, practice doing that. Don't just write shallow posts. No, everybody can do that. Train yourself to sit down once a week or once every 2 weeks or even once a month, depending on your calendar or schedule, and write a deep, practical post that when somebody reads, they say, Haba, this girl gets sense. This girl, her, I respect her. She knows her industry. What are you doing? You are creating a positioning post, a deep post that positions you as a category authority in your industry. Okay? So, in that kind of post, you can be, let's say, if I'm writing a business post, I'll address things like why this strategy can destroy your business in 10 days or after 2 years. I go deep. Right? Or sometimes I'll write a deep post talking about how I helped a client to do this and achieving this. And I'll share a detailed structure and strategy that I use with that client, very deep. Or sometimes I'll share a post like how to achieve this in 7 days, right? Or how to do this in 7 days and achieve this within 7 days. Something like that, but it's deep, right? Because the purpose here is that when you begin to make this kind of post, you are making your readers who eventually read, and even those who don't read, they know that no, although I'm lazy to read, this post communicates expertise and quality. And like I always say, in this generation, and let me advise you, if you are in this generation and you're one of those who give complaints like, who will read this long article? Hmm? And you don't read books or things like that, there are even very few people that can sit on a long video like this and just receive wisdom. Very few people. If you are somebody who don't read long articles, you don't read books, you cannot sit on a long teaching like this. Trust me, you cannot lead in your generation. You are too super, you are light. You are very light in terms of mental intelligence. You are very light, and you cannot be a contributor in your generation by being light upstairs. You cannot. You cannot. Because you don't have the mental strength. You don't have it. Like I always say, you cannot lead in your generation by thinking the same way like the people in your generation. There are some of you that you want to serve clients, but your thinking pattern and the quality of knowledge that you have is the same like the people you want to serve. So how do you want them to pay you? No, you have to pay the price to go a step further, right? Like I always get this kind of feedback a lot. When I write long articles, people will complain and say, it's too long for me to read. I'm like, I'm not writing for you anyways. It's not writing for you. If it's too long for you to read, you're not the right market for me. You see? And I always feel bad for people like that because your brain is like a muscle. The more you put it to use, the more it becomes better at the quality of ideas and strategy and things that it creates. And you can never build authority, influence, and prosperity beyond your head. You can never. Go and pray for 2,000 years. If your brain is not renewed, if you don't have a sound mind, a sound head, you'll be broke for ages. Very broke. Fast and pray for 10,000 years. You'll still be broke. You'll still be broke. Because even what God wants to give you to do that can bring you to the place of prosperity, He will need a sound mind and a sound brain to convert that thing into things that make sense. Okay? So you have to train your brain to do that. All right, people, those are the 10 different things that if you do from today, you really pick these things and take them to your various social media profiles and practice them. I guarantee you, give yourself 3 months. You see a major shift in your social media profiles and the kind of opportunities and even people that you will attract to yourself. Any questions?